What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most bizarre and hilarious subplots in the history of animated television. We're talking about the time Glenn Quagmire, the giggity guy himself, became a video game developer. Yeah, you heard that right. Forget about his pilot career or his other hobbies. We're exploring the rise and fall of Quagmire's gaming empire. 2. It all started, as most of Quagmire's ideas do, from a place of pure, unfiltered Quagmire-ness. He wasn't trying to create the next epic RPG or a competitive shooter. No, his vision was much more specific. He wanted to make a game that captured his unique perspective on the world. So, what kind of game does a guy like Quagmire make? Well, it was a mobile game, of course. Something accessible, addictive, and perfectly suited for quick bursts of play. We called it Wrong Way Corrigan, but the title was just the beginning. The gameplay was deceptively simple. You played as a pilot, a vintage, leather helmet-wearing aviator, flying a biplane through an endless sky. The objective: to fly the wrong way against a stream of oncoming planes. You'd tilt your phone left and right, dodging other aircraft, collecting power-ups, and trying to get the highest score possible. Sounds like a basic endless runner, right? But here's the Quagmire twist. The power-ups weren't your typical speed boosts or shields. One was a martini glass that made the screen woozy and the controls inverted. Another was a pair of ladies' underwear that, when collected, would cause a chorus of giggity to erupt, clearing the screen of all obstacles for a few seconds. The enemy planes weren't just generic aircraft. They were piloted by angry-looking husbands and boyfriends, shaking their fists as you flew past. Thick. It was absurd, it was nonsensical, and it was pure Quagmire. He coded the entire thing himself in his garage, fueled by an endless supply of cheap beer and questionable 80s rock music. Peter, Joe, and Cleveland would occasionally stop by, offering terrible advice like, "You should add a fart button, Quagmire." Or, "Can you make the plane look more like a talking dog?" Quagmire, surprisingly, showed a rare moment of artistic integrity and ignored them completely. Use a man with a vision, a very, very strange vision. After weeks of sleepless nights and countless bugs, Wrong Way Corrigan was ready. Quagmire uploaded it to the App Store, not expecting much. He just wanted to create something that was unapologetically his. But then, something incredible happened. The game started to get downloads. First a few dozen, then a few hundred, then thousands, who were drawn to its quirky humor and challenging gameplay. It was the perfect storm of simple mechanics and bizarre, memorable content. The game went viral. Suddenly, Quagmire was the talk of Quahog. Newsvans were parked outside his house. He was on the cover of Rhode Island Gaming Monthly. He even did an interview on Quahog 5 News, where Trisha Tokunawa asked him, with a trademark deadpan delivery, "Mr. Quagmire, your game features a pilot collecting undergarments. Is this a commentary on the objectification inherent in modern society?" Quagmire, completely missing the point, just grinned and said, "Giggity." The money started rolling in. Quagmire, who was used to living on a pilot's salary, was now a millionaire. He bought a solid gold airplane, installed a water slide from his bedroom window directly into his pool, and hired a team of butlers who all looked suspiciously like Tom Selleck. This is where the story takes a turn. With success came pressure. The gaming community, initially charmed by the game's indie spirit, started demanding more. They wanted updates, new levels, and sequels. Quagmire, who had just wanted to make a silly little game, was now the CEO of a rapidly growing company he didn't know how to run. He hired Peter, Joe, and Cleveland as his executive team, which, as you can imagine, was a spectacular disaster. Their first board meeting involved arguing for 2 hours about whether the company's official snack should be potato chips or cheese puffs. Peter suggested a sequel called Peter's Griffin's Pro Skater, where you just ride a mobility scooter through the drunken clam. Joe wanted to develop a police training simulator, where the only objective was to successfully stand up from a chair. It was chaos. Quagmire found himself bogged down in meetings, market research, and synergy PowerPoints. The fun was gone. The simple joy of creating something had been replaced by the crushing weight of expectation and corporate nonsense. He wasn't a creator anymore. He was a manager. The pressure reached a breaking point during the development of the sequel, Giggity Gridlock. The studio, now a massive, soulless office building, was filled with stressed-out developers trying to interpret Quagmire's increasingly erratic demands. He wanted more polygons on the giggity and synergistic monetization through blockchain-enabled lingerie NFTs. Nobody knew what he was talking about, least of all Quagmire himself. The game was a mess of conflicting ideas, a crafting system, a battle royale mode, and a deeply emotional narrative about a pilot searching for his long-lost pair of lucky socks. One day, during a particularly stressful bug testing session, Quagmire just snapped. He stood on his desk and shouted, "This isn't fun anymore. This isn't giggity. This is just ... goo." He fired everyone, including Peter, Joe, and Cleveland, liquidated the company, and pulled all his games from the App Store. Shit. He gave all the money away to a charity for retired airline stewardesses and went back to his old life. In the end, Quagmire realized that success wasn't about money or fame. It was about the joy of creation. He had set out to make a small, stupid game for himself, and that's when he was happiest. The moment it became a job, a responsibility, it lost its magic. It's a surprisingly profound lesson from one of animation's least profound characters. The story of Quagmire's video game is a hilarious and weirdly insightful cautionary tale about selling out and the importance of staying true to your original passion. No matter how strange that passion might be, sometimes the best creations are the ones we make just for the fun of it, without worrying about downloads, reviews, or monetization. It reminds us that the giggity is in the journey, not the destination. What do you guys think? If this, one of the best Quagmire-centric plots we've ever seen, what kind of game would you have expected him to make? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. It's always a blast reading what you all have to say. And hey, if you had fun taking this weird trip down memory lane with me, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out more than you know. And if you're new here and want to see more deep dives into your favorite animated shows, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Thanks so much for hanging out today, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.